Hey guys, we have some major energetic shifts taking place today. We have two planets simultaneously changing signs, entering new signs, and they're also forming an exact sextile aspect to one another as they do that. Those two planets are Mercury moving into the sign of Cancer and Mars moving into the sign of Taurus. This is definitely going to be creating probably some palpable changes going on in terms of, first of all, what we're thinking about, and second of all, what we're putting our energy into. So we have that to talk about today. The nodes of the moon are also changing degrees today as well, moving 1 degree backwards closer to their conjunction to Uranus. And Mars is entering the sign of Taurus, which is the place where this very big, huge, rare, unique, powerful conjunction is going to be happening later this month between Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. So we have a little bit of that kicking up today. And then we have a moon in Virgo forming in opposition to both Neptune retrograde and a trine to Pluto retrograde. So some stuff going on with our emotions today as well. So we have quite a jam-packed astrological day underway today. Let us get into the report and talk about how perhaps all of this may be playing out for us today and what we can expect coming up this next couple weeks now that we have Mercury in Cancer and Mars in Taurus. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological energetic outlook update of the day. If you guys stick with me until the end of the report, I'm also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in correspondence to the astrology that we have going on today, just to give us a bit of a more holistic or well-rounded understanding of how this energetic blueprint is playing out for us today. So let's get in it with the astrology first. First of all, like I said, it's a big day today in terms of some shifting vibes. If you guys watched my July overview, I was talking about how the 5th of July was really one of the highlight days of the month. And that is because, as I said in my intro, we have two personal planets that are both changing signs today. Whenever a planet is changing signs, this usually creates sort of like a palpable energetic shift within us and sort of in the collective field at large, because that planet is changing the way that the vibrations that is disseminating are operating. We are going from Mercury in Gemini to Mercury in Cancer. We are going from Mars in Aries to Mars in Taurus. And this is also actually taking these two planets out of their home signs. Mercury rules Gemini and Mars rules Aries. And both of these planets have been very, very happy and powerful and pure in their energy as they have been transiting their home signs this past couple of weeks. Our energy levels were probably quite high. We were probably having quite a bit of confidence in ourselves and feeling a little bit assertive and ready to take some action and stand up for ourselves. And simultaneously, communication, thinking, speaking, being out and about, being busy. It's probably been a very, very busy past couple of weeks, and we've probably been learning a lot, saying a lot, having a lot going on, a lot to do, a lot of connecting with others and stuff like that. So we are coming out of Mars and Mercury both being in a very powerful position, but this is going to be changing the way that, first of all, our mind, Mercury, and our energy body, like how we're acting, how we're behaving, and what we are putting our energy into, are sort of operating over this next couple weeks. Mercury is moving super, super fast right now. Mercury is only going to be in Cancer until, let's see, Mercury moves into Leo on July 19th. So Mercury is only going to be in Cancer for literally 2 weeks. That's very, very fast. Mars will be in Taurus for a while. And as you know, Mars moving into Taurus, this is Mars moving into the sign where this very rare and very powerful conjunction that we are building to all month long, that comes exact on the 34th or the 31st of July between Mars, the North Node, and Uranus, is taking place in the sign of Taurus. So Mars moving into Taurus today, this is setting us up and priming us for the changes that are coming over the course of that are building into coming as this month plays out, and definitely into August and as we head more towards the fall. But let's get back to talking about Mars moving into Taurus, Mercury moving into Cancer, and they're both in a sextile to each other. Taurus, Cancer, there's Gemini in between. So these are skip a sign. We have a skip a sign aspect going on. And the sextile between Mars and Mercury, this is actually like a very motivating aspect. Extremely busy. Again, that is likely to be a feature of what we have going on over this next couple weeks. Individual initiative, very high at this point in time, because there's this positive blending of the mind and the desire to act when we have Mars and Mercury in the sextile aspect. So again, like it can make us take some very positive initiative to move ourselves forward in one way or another. It's good for taking action to succeed. So this is a pretty positive aspect that we have building into this next couple weeks. But let's talk about the signs that these are happening in. Now, Mercury moving into the sign of Cancer. This is ruled by the moon. This is a much more emotional, mental energy than what we had been dealing with when Mercury was in the sign of Gemini. Mercury in Gemini, this is a super busy energy. This is very like more of an extroverted energy, like out and about, connecting, talking, relating, questioning, thinking, like speaking, conversating, like all of this type of stuff, transactions, like going back and forth, short trips and all of this when we have Mercury in the sign of Gemini. But when we have Mercury in the sign of Cancer, this is definitely much more of a mental focus on the home, on the family, on stability, on security, on comfort, and on meeting our needs generally. We are more likely at this point in time to be, or over this next 2 weeks while we have Mercury transiting Cancer, that's all we're getting, just 2 weeks, we're just, the focus is likely to be on ways that we can just take better care of ourselves, nurture ourselves more, and talking and relating and connecting with family, things to do with the home, perhaps like trips home, like to the roots, to the hometown going on, stuff like that. And just generally, of course, like this more mental, but like also slightly emotional, because we're talking about Mercury in the sign of the moon, Mercury in the sign of the mother, the womb, Cancer. Also talking about, reading about, conversating about, information about, headlines about things regarding the parent, like the mother, home, family, children, like birth and stuff like this as well, might take a prominence over this next couple weeks while we have Mercury in the sign of the womb, the mother, the home, the family. So there may just be a special like emphasis for this next 2 weeks on these themes, just in terms of the news, the headlines, stuff like that. And also in terms of just where we are generally focused. Like, again, like maybe talking to people from our past, or talking to people from our childhood, or talking to people from our hometown, or getting together with family reunions, family gatherings. Also thinking about ways that maybe we can improve our home and our family, or care for ourselves better, or care for our family better, and stuff like that over this period of time with Mercury now moving into the sign of Cancer. And another thing though about Mercury now moving into the sign of Cancer, you guys remember this is also where the black moon is. So this means that Mercury is now going to be building into a conjunction with the black moon over this next week or so. Mercury is moving fast, so it's not going to be long until we're talking about Mercury and the black moon together. And as we get closer to this energy, we'll talk more about it, but this could also be really triggering some fears or insecurities along these same lines in terms of like, how am I going to care for my family? Like, what's going on with my home? Like, we could have some like mental insecurities in the realms of home, family, comfort, security, well-being, that type of stuff that are coming up over this next couple weeks as well. Now let's talk about Mars. Mars moving into the sign of Taurus. Mars and Taurus, I feel like is like, it always reminds me of a visual of like an ox sort of like tilling the field. Mars and Taurus is a very like work hard, play hard type of energy. When we have Mars and Taurus, we're putting our energy, we're putting some hard work into building or creating or preparing something that ultimately we can like take pleasure in, or we can enjoy, or provides us a sense of comfort, or that, you know, we can relax, or we can indulge in. Like Taurus, Mars and Taurus energy really wants to like work hard towards a purpose, and that purpose usually tends to be like some type of like indulgence that comes after the fact. So working, building, preparing. This is also bringing in food, clothing, and resources and value for sure as well when we're talking about Mars in the sign of Taurus. It's like tilling the field. That's how I feel. Like that's just when I see Mars and Taurus, like in my mind, I just get this visual of like this big ox just like tilling the field, like planting the seeds, like preparing for growth so there can be this like massive feast. You know what I mean? work hard, play hard type of energy. Now, on the sort of like the flip side of things, Mars and Taurus, this is also a very hard-headed, stubborn energy. Like there could just be some real sort of like tempers and stubborn attitudes that we're noticing in people over this time period when we have Mars in the sign of Taurus. This could also bring up some, I mean, Mars is the war planet, the fire planet as well. This could definitely also bring up some fights or aggressions or conflicts in the realms of relationships and partnerships, because Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus, ruling relationships and partnerships, and also finances, value, money, problems with money, financial agreements, financial arrangements, like resources, supply chains, and food production. Like there could be some definite problems, as if we haven't had enough problems, but there could definitely be some problems in these areas over this next period of time that we have Mars in the sign of Taurus as well. This could also bring some fires, because Taurus, this is an earth sign. This rules like the earth, the land, and Mars is the fire planet. This could definitely bring an increased tendency or likelihood of like forest fires, also earthquakes for sure. I'm feeling like we could have a very like extreme perhaps amount of earthquake activity that is going on over this next period of time. Also because of Uranus's presence in Taurus, lightning storms that could be like thunder and lightning storms that could be like very powerful and destructive, and also tornadoes and stuff like that. And these things could result in damage to like food or livestock or crops. The food supply generally could be undergoing some type of issues. It kind of makes sense that for the next 2 weeks, now that we have Mars moving into the sign of Taurus, we also have Mercury in the sign of Cancer and building into a conjunction with the black moon. Like we are just more likely to be thinking about ways to meet our own needs. Like whatever happens, whatever transpires throughout the course of this month and next month, with Mars coming into this big conjunction with the North Node and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. I mean, we know with the North Node in Taurus alone, this is a period of getting back, of simplifying things, really getting back to like a more like personally resourceful and self-reliant way of being sort of like a creative producer in our lives instead of sort of just a passive consumer. We are taking our power back. We are discovering the resources and the value that we hold within us, and we are becoming self-empowered in our ability to utilize those to do something for ourselves, to help us detach in small ways from the external matrix that we may have been looking to support and meet a lot of our needs in the past, but at this point in time, maybe we are coming to understand is not as reliable or as dependable as it once was. So we are looking for alternative ways to meet some of our needs, and we are doing that through recognizing the resources that we hold within us and our own talents and abilities to do so. So thinking about now over this course of this next couple weeks, I bet a lot of people are going to be thinking about how to meet their own needs and what they can do to better support themselves. Like, you know, there may be some fears or some worries or some insecurities or some doubts that are building about how we are going to take care of ourselves or to take care of our families going forward. And I feel like this is really going to be activating with that Mars Mercury sextile that this energy is comprised of, as they are both moving together simultaneously in this sextile aspect into their new signs, that is giving us this individual initiative and an ability to really be successful at what we are putting our mind to at this point in time. And I really feel like this is projects, you know, around the home or to do with food or to do with family, building things to meet our needs for home comfort and security in one way or another. Lots and lots of new projects coming about over the course of this next couple of weeks. Creative pursuits and also new partnerships could be forming right now too. And again, there is this more stubborn energy that we may be navigating as well, and it could definitely also be bringing up some of these conflicts, fights, disagreements, financial issues. But with Mars and Taurus now building into the conjunction with Uranus in the North Node, the things that are breaking down, erupting, exploding, falling away at this point in time, this is happening in order to genuinely liberate and free you from something that is out of alignment and restricting you from moving forward in an authentic truth, because we are about to get some major realignments that may be a bit uncomfortable, but I love you too, baby. That may be a bit uncomfortable, but are generally for the purpose of freeing us essentially to activate our destiny, to find our purpose, and to create a life that really truly feeds and nourishes like our soul. So this is where this is leading, you guys. And right now we're dealing with the Mars and Taurus, Mercury and Cancer vibes. What can I do to create a more stable, more secure, more comfortable, more abundant daily life experience for myself and my family? This is how this energy is playing out right now. Now, I want to talk also about, just for a minute, the Sabian symbols where this is happening. 1 degree of Cancer and 1 degree of Taurus, where Mars are moving today. 1 degree of Cancer is on a ship. The sailors lower an old flag and raise a new one. And 1 degree of Taurus, where Mars is moving, is a clear mountain stream. So these two planets at these 2 degrees at the same time, to me, this is talking about making a clear change in guard, or a very clear change in guard that is underway right now, a transition of power that is actively happening. And this is mostly through shifts of consciousness, or these clear streams of consciousness that we are gaining access to at this point in time, that is shifting, causing, I guess, a change of guard within us, and therefore also is being reflected in terms of a change of guard in our external world as well. We are becoming the captains of our own ships. We are taking back our personal power so that we are less reliant, less dependent on the crumbling matrices and control systems of the past at this point in time. Another interesting thing that we have simultaneously going on today is the nodes, like I said, are moving degrees as well. The nodes move backwards, and so they are moving backwards from 22 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio to 21 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. This is the north and the south node of the moon, representing destiny and karma, the past and the future, where we're going, where we're coming from, the next phase of growth, and what we need to release and move on from in order to get there. This is the north node rules sort of like destiny and fate in the hand of God, and the south node is the karmic attachments that prevent us from going in this new direction. And so with the nodes shifting degrees on the same day that Mercury and Mars are both entering their new signs, talking about what they're specifically talking about, what their message and goal and objective is at this point in time, I find it to be a bit synchronistic that the nodes are also moving alongside of this, like indicating the prominence of this in terms of the karmic detox that is underway right now, as we recognize again the truth of that value within us and head off in this new trajectory towards self-mastery, self-empowerment, and detaching ourselves again from the control systems of the past. So 21 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio, where the nodes are now and they will be for the next several days. This Sabian symbol 21 degrees of Taurus is a moving finger, points to significant passages in a book. And 21 Scorpio, where the south node is obeying their conscience. A soldier resists orders. And I feel like this is a pretty significant polarity of degrees that are being discharged right now as well, especially in the context of Mercury and Cancer, Mars and Taurus vibes that we have playing out, and this building Mars-Uranus North Node conjunction. We are writing a crucial chapter in our history right now, entering some very, very epic times. We need to pay attention. A moving finger points to a significant passage in a book. The way I'm reading this right now, that book is a history book. That significant passage is what is about to transpire in this next period of time as a result of these transits that are underway this year. Also, the south node at 21 Scorpio, obeying his conscience, the soldier resists orders, rebelling against what is out of alignment with our conscious awakening, our moral truth, higher knowing, and ultimately our conscience at this point in time. The Sabian symbol specifically says that, like, we are moving away from a period of time. We are releasing ourselves from a period of time where we may have disregarded our own conscience in order to maintain that support of those external power and control sources that we've been talking about. Like, maybe we had sort of like, betrayed our own morals or betrayed our own conscience on various occasions in order to, keep ourselves safe in one way or another with this Black Moon Cancer energy that we have going on right now as well. And we're coming to a point in time where, or maybe we just thought that was the right thing to do in order to like maintain our role in the group, but we are answering to a higher calling at this point in time. We are going through a conscious awakening, and we are realigning with our own personal and moral truths. And as a result of that, I feel like this is talking about us actively coming to a period of time where we are detaching ourselves from any abandonment of that we may have been experiencing or that we may have acted in the past. So I find it interesting that the nodes are moving to those specific degrees today alongside Mercury and Mars, both simultaneously entering new signs together. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about today is the moon. The moon is in the sign of Virgo, and the moon is going to be forming an opposition to Neptune and simultaneously trying to Pluto, and both of these planets are retrograde. I forgot to talk about Neptune going retrograde. Neptune went retrograde a few days ago in conjunction when we had the sun in conjunction to the black moon, and right around our new moon in Cancer. Neptune also stationed to go retrograde. And Neptune retrograde, this is our perception of reality really being like turned upside down, as we are sort of like forced to contend with both reality and illusion in one way or another. And with the moon in Virgo ruling like facts, linear thought, like ruled by Mercury, we may be questioning the truth or the facts or our understanding about something in this energy today. The moon in opposition to Neptune retrograde coming from the sign of Virgo. We may be having trouble trusting our feelings today or our thoughts. We might feel a bit lost in illusion or fantasy, or like in a pessimistic attitude, being like overly critical or overly judgmental about something. Not believing the information being presented to us is another way that this could manifest, or being confused by information, by what someone says, by what someone communicates, by what someone thinks. There could generally just be a lot of miscommunications, misunderstandings that are going on today as a result of the mental, emotional energy. It's interesting. Today we have the moon in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, and we simultaneously have Mercury in the sign of Cancer ruled by the moon. So we also have a mutual reception going on today between our thoughts and our feelings. Mercury and the moon both being in each other's signs in the sextile to Mars as well. So there is this like mental and emotional cohesion or fusion that is going on, that is inspiring whatever we are putting our action or energy into today. And in the sign of the moon being in the sign of Virgo and Mercury being in the sign of Cancer, it may be like the things that we are learning, or what the truths that we are feeling emotionally aligned to at this point in time, or some type of information that is coming through, or some type of conversation or communication that is gearing us more towards wanting to put some energy and effort into stabilizing our home environment or our family life or something like that in some type of way. But there is definitely this mental emotional cohesion going on today along the lines. This is also very healing. There's a lot of very healing energy today. We might also, in this energy as it's going on, as it's just activating today over the course of this next few weeks, find ourselves having like more of a desire to sort of like heal and purify our physical vessel, because this Neptune opposition from the moon today is also in a trine to Pluto as well. So this could, whatever confusion there may be sort of going on today because of this Neptune opposition, it may also bring up give us a hard time trusting our intuition or our faith, or may bring up a little bit of like a crisis in faith or something that we are navigating today. But ultimately, there is the potential that is activating like a desire for some deep changes, or just generally some deep changes that are happening about how we feel about things. A desire also to change like our lifestyle or our habits or our schedules or our daily routines could be sort of organically happening as this energy unfolds. Purge, purify, and cleanse our physical body. Like I said, like a physical detox. Dietary changes may also be represented by this, but with the Mercury moon mutual reception between Virgo, the sign of the healer, and Mercury in Cancer, this is a sign also of self-care, self-nurturing, self-love, and how we care for ourselves and others. Mars moving to the sign of Taurus, and Pluto in trine to the moon today. And also, Pisces, this is also a sign about release and healing. We may be releasing ourselves from some old like unhealthy habits, as we are sort of seeking maybe to get back into a better relationship to our own body or to our own mind or to our own emotions, and really like nurture ourselves. And again, this brings in like the food aspect, the food component of things, with Mars in the sign of Taurus as well, like the type of foods that we're eating, the way that we are, like what we are doing to like exercise or work out, or how we are spending our energy, what we are putting our energy into, what we are working towards now, what we are putting hard work towards now in order to receive some type of payoff that we can find pleasure in later. So this could definitely be bringing up some type of desire to just get healthier in one way or another over the course of the next coming weeks. But definitely this emphasis that is going on the home, the family, and how to really like stabilize our circumstances, our situation, and just getting back to basics, simplifying things, and becoming more self-reliant and more resourceful over the course of this next couple of weeks. So that's what I have to say for the report today, you guys. Pretty significant transits and all that we have playing out. Let's talk about the tarot for a minute. Got some cards coming out of the deck this morning, and it's really interesting because they are kind of saying, you know, basically the same thing. We have the first card that came out was the Four of Pentacles, followed by the Seven of Wands in reverse, followed by the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So there we have two sevens in reverse. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Six of Wands. So this is talking about something that we are doing that is leading us to some type of victory. So with the Four of Pentacles, this is talking about something actually that we are seeing as valuable and that we are wanting to hold on to at this point in time. And what actually is that we are seeing as valuable or that we are wanting to hold on? It is actually like the end, I guess, of us putting energy into the old habits, the old patterns, the old ways of doing and being and growing. And as a result of that, the things that we had been growing in our various aspects of our lives. This Seven of Wands, this is talking about like pushing forward with something, like putting effort and energy into something, like not giving up, like just putting the force and the effort and either pushing something back or pushing something away or pushing something towards something. But either way, we are putting some active energy into maintaining something. And the Seven of Pentacles, this is a card about a harvest, about looking at the things that we've grown, except for it's not traditionally seen as like, you know, the most like upbeat and happy card about what we have grown and what we've produced. It's sort of being a little bit like melancholy about the state of where we're at and what we've grown at this point in time. And so with these two cards in reverse, I feel like this is talking about like finding value in actually what we're surrendering at this point in time, what we're sort of like stepping back from, stepping away from. And like I said, like the habits and the patterns and the ways that we're used to using our energy, like the ways, like what we are usually feeding our energy into and what grows as a result of that. This is telling me that we are at a point where we're sort of switching that up. We're sort of changing it. We're sort of abandoning those ways, and we are finding value in that because we're actually realizing that that is what is going to lead us to our success. Our victory is coming through what we are no longer fighting to make happen at this point in time. It's like whatever we are surrendering, whatever is no longer working, whatever we are standing back and looking at and being like, you know, I worked really hard on that. I put a lot of time and energy and effort into it, and it's just not giving me the results that I had anticipated, or it's just not paying off, or it's just not really worth it anymore. Or I just don't see this coming to a state of growth that I'm going to be like really fulfilled in. And maybe it's time to sort of lay down, you know, the tools and like take a step back and maybe surrender this aspect of things, or this project, or this mentality, or this way of using my resources as well. We're talking about the Pentacles. We're talking about the Pentacles twice, and we're talking about the Wands twice. This is material things, and this is like our passion and our inspiration. It's like maybe we've been putting our passion and our inspiration into the wrong things, and we're realizing that as a result, we're not getting the outcome that we thought we would, or that really brings us that state of fulfillment. And we're recognizing the value in moving on to something else at this point in time and allowing ourselves to be re-inspired and actually to see, you know, what we've learned and what we've grown from in the process as a victory that is motivating us to move forward in a new direction and try something new. So I feel like that is essentially the message that is coming through in terms of the way that the cards came out today and what they're saying in the context of this energy. And it, you know, it makes sense. Mars moving into Taurus, Mercury moving into Cancer. This is definitely a shift of vibes going on, and the focus is changing at this point in time, and it needs to, because I'm telling you guys, we got some big changes coming in the future, and being as simplifying our lives and being able to find small ways to be more self-reliant and more self-sufficient is going to give us a much greater sense of self-empowerment and make us feel much less at sort of like the whim of the external circumstances that may be playing out over more make us feel less like victims of circumstance, I guess we could say, over this next couple months and moving throughout this year. So let's draw one more card right now, you guys. Let's draw us a synchronicity card and see just one more message that God and Spirit has for us this morning to help us navigate, or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Let's see what we need to know. And that's really interesting. The card that came out today is very simple, and it says no. It just says no. So this must be a message for someone out there. And in terms of the way that the tarot cards came out today, maybe this is referencing, you know, like what we are no longer willing to put our energy into, what we are surrendering at this point in time, what we are no longer willing to keep fighting for or fighting against, or like fueling. Maybe we've come to a point where we're like, no more, I'm stopping, and I find more value at this point in time in taking my energy back and sort of cutting my losses and moving forward and taking the victory in getting out now. Like maybe that is something that is coming through. But if you've been, you know, deliberating on something, or if there's something that comes to into your awareness today or into your experience today, and you're kind of juggling between a yes or a no, maybe this message is for you. And, you know, maybe just collectively today, as we're navigating, especially also this Neptune moon opposition, maybe trying to pull us back into a bit of illusion. The answer is no, and we don't want to be pulled off course today. We want to really try to stay as rooted in our own truth as possible. So that is what I have to say today, you guys, in terms of the message from the stars, the message from the cards. I hope I was able to provide something for all of you that can give you just a little bit of whatever you're needing as you go throughout your day. I hope you guys liked it. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested in this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I genuinely, totally thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate each and every single one of them. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We will have more astrology to talk about. We will be fully in this Cancer, Mercury, Mars, Taurus energy, and we are building, you guys, towards a once in 2,300 year activation coming up. So we got a lot of astrology to talk about in that process. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then. Everybody have a beautiful day. And until tomorrow, bye guys.